Hello, my name is Ken Hodgson. Uh, I'm excited to be here and look forward to sharing my success story with you. I'm so grateful for the First Place for Health program. It taught me the importance of putting Jesus Christ first in my life. Um, I call it a success story, but it was all accomplished through Christ. It wasn't my doing, it was His doing. Um, I hope that's apparent as I share this story. Um, so in December 2014, my health was not good. I was at an all-time high in my weight. I was 284 pounds. And at 5'9", that's a lot of weight. I had high blood pressure. I was on medication to control that. Very severe sleep apnea. I had little energy. And at that time, I had got diagnosed with thyroid cancer. When I thought of what I had to do to get well, it was overwhelming. I knew from experience that any time I tried to get healthy on my own, it always ended up in failure. I had some cases where I lost some weight, but I always managed to put the weight back on and sometimes even ended up heavier than when I began the routine. So for the first time in my life, I took my wellness to the Lord. And I asked him to join me on my wellness journey and to help me. I could not do it on my own. I tried, but always failed. I needed the Lord on my journey. It was through prayer that I was led to do a search online for a Bible-based weight loss program. And that's how I discovered the First Place for Health program. I went to their website, I read the literature. I knew immediately this program was for me. It was perfect. It had everything I was looking for. Well, the next step in the process was to check the locator to see if there was a local group. And I have to tell you, I wasn't very optimistic. I was thinking to myself, I've never heard of the program. This too good to be true. I'm not going to find anything. But I went ahead with the search anyways. And to my amazement, a couple towns over, there was a church beginning a brand new class in 2 weeks. I called the leader and I joined the class. The location, the timing was perfect. Now, that was January 2015, and that was a bad month for snow. Our first 3 classes were canceled, but fortunately, I'd made arrangements with the class leader to receive my membership kit up front. So during those 3 weeks, I was faithful in doing my Bible study. Each day I would do my reading, look at my verses, answer the questions. And in such a short period of time, at the end of that, I noticed that my relationship with the Lord was growing. And at the end of the month, I went in for surgery to have my thyroid removed. I had complete peace, no fear whatsoever. The surgeon commented a couple times on my calmness. Evidently, it was unusual to see someone this calm. And I attribute that to being in the Word those 3 weeks, growing in my relationship with the Lord, and having God's peace. A peace that I haven't experienced to that degree prior. And I had an easy go of it. My recovery was amazing. And today I'm cancer-free, and I thank God. Now, after that, classes resumed, and I went in with the attitude I was going to do anything and everything that was asked of me. So I was faithful to my quiet time. I memorized each week my scripture verse. I exercised. I tracked my food. I reached out to my prayer partner. And I was rewarded because at the end of 12 weeks, I had my classmates were my friends, they're brand new friends, and they're my friends to this day. I now had 10 scripture verses committed to memory. I received a 100-mile pin for my exercise. I lost 34 pounds. But the best benefit of all was that my relationship with Jesus grew tremendously. Now, when you're 5'9" and you lose 34 pounds, people take notice. And the folks at my church, they wanted to know what it was that I was doing. So it was an opportunity to share my faith and share about the program. And when they were done listening, they didn't ask. They insisted that I lead the First Place for Health program in our church. Well, at this point, I've only been in First Place for Health less than 6 months. I haven't even completed my second class. And I did not feel qualified to lead a class. But I prayed about it, and I spoke with my leader, and I reviewed the leadership materials, which are excellent. And I agreed to run a class. Now, I had read that as a sole leader, the maximum number of class members should be 20. So I prayed for 20. I was very excited, and I wanted to share with as many people as possible. So, Lord, please give me 20 people. That was my prayer. I advertised the class, and at the night of the orientation, 18 people showed up, and 18 people signed up for the class. Not 20, but 18 is a good number. So next week, we have our class, the 18 people show up, and then two more people, unannounced, never spoke to me about the program. I had no idea they were interested in it. And we had our 20 people. That, to me, was clear communications from above, saying, I bless this program, and I bless your efforts in leading this class. Now, those 20 people, they lost 200 pounds, and we donated 200 pounds to the food pantry. My favorite part of that class was the last week. Not because it was over, but because the last week was a celebration. And I had the opportunity to listen to each and every class member share how their lives were impacted by the First Place for Health program. Some shared on doctor's appointments where they were getting great reports, all the numbers going in the right directions. Medicines reduced or eliminated. Other people shared how they were handling things better at work or at home, and they had less stress in their lives. I had one lady that bought her first Bible. Everyone lost weight, and everyone acknowledged a growth in their relationship with the Lord. It was incredible. It energized me, and since that time, I've consistently led First Place for Health classes. Right now, I lead a Saturday morning class. We have 18 folks in it. And I lead a men's-only virtual group on Monday nights, and we have 9 men in that class. And I just thank God for this program, and I thank God for the opportunity to lead the class. I thoroughly enjoy seeing the transformation that takes place in a person that commits to the program. You follow the program, it works. I've seen it over and over again. Now, in January 2019, I retired, and I was looking to step up my activity. And I wanted to honor God with my body. For years, in my earlier years, I've abused my body through smoking, overeating, not exercising. No more. You know, I want to be a good steward, and I want to honor God with my body. So I decided I'd take up hiking. I was not a hiker before this. And there's a group of mountains in New Hampshire called the New Hampshire 48. And I had seen some photographs taken by hikers that have hiked these mountains, and the scenery was stunning. And I wanted to see it for myself. Now, this is something I couldn't have done back in 2014 or 15 because I physically couldn't do it. I wasn't healthy enough. But I felt now I might be able to do it. So I set up a challenge to do the 48, and I gave myself 1 year to complete it. Now, talking to people in the know later on, turns out that 1 year was very optimistic and probably should have backed off from that a little bit, but I didn't know any better. So a year it was. So on January 15th, 2019, I summited my first 48 mountain, Mount Pierce. I remember the day well. It was cold. The temperatures were in the low teens. And I was hiking with a father and son who I met online. And I remember that right near the summit, we broke out of the trees and the wind was howling and the snow was blowing and it was whiteout conditions. Fortunately, the father had summited this mountain a few times before and the summit wasn't that far away and he was able to get us to the summit. We posed for a quick photo and then we ran back into the trees for protection. So that was number one checked off. And on January 7th, 2020, I summited South Kinsman for number 48. So it was 51 weeks to complete the 48, 1 week ahead of schedule. And it was an incredible journey. Now these mountains are typically a 2 to 3 hour drive from my home. So any day I was hiking, I was up at 4 a.m. and on the road by 5. And it would give me 2 to 3 hours of quiet time in the car. And during those rides, I'd pray to the Lord. I'd give thanks. Give thanks for these wonderful mountains and the beautiful vistas and his incredible creation. And thank him for the opportunity that at my age, I was able to hike these mountains. And I'd ask him for safety on my travels and safety on the trails. And ask, Lord, show me how I might be able to use this experience to inspire others and to share Jesus and share the First Place for Health program. And I have had opportunities. Now, in hiking these mountains, I've hiked in all kinds of weather, from very, very cold to very, very hot. In the winter, the challenge is the ice and the cold. And the summer, the challenge is the heat and the bugs. But there are many hikes that halfway through, I want to turn around. I want to go home. I'm tired. When I look up and see how much further it is to get to the summit, remember, when you get to the summit, you're only halfway there because then you got to turn around and go back. I want to call it quits. But I offer each hike up as an act of worship to the Lord. And as soon as I thought of quitting, that thought would come in mind that, Ken, you're offering this up to the Lord. And I would get the strength and I would push through it. And I summited each and every mountain. Never turned back. I turned back once, and that was only because the conditions were dangerous. So the Lord gave me strength. He gave me safety. I had many slips and falls, but no injuries of any consequence. A couple scary moments. I just know the Lord had me, He protected me. And so I'm very grateful for the time in the mountains. I figured I had 265 hours actually on the trails. I walked 312 miles. I had an elevation gain of 20 miles. I had 170 hours in my car commuting and drove over 10,000 miles back and forth. But it was well well worth it. Met many great people on the trail. Again, I've had the opportunity to share with other folks, and the challenges kept me fit, kept me healthy. I'm getting stronger. Today, I maintain a 60-pound weight loss, and I expect that number to even go higher as I do more hiking. So I challenge you today. I challenge you to step up your exercise activity. Wherever you're at, step it up. Uh, Set yourself a stretch goal, something that's not too easy, but at the same time, something that's achievable. Give yourself a time frame and push yourself. And I think you'll be richly rewarded for your efforts. Thank you, and God bless.